960 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Thank you for joining the Beaver County Radio Show. It's Scott Tatey, Frank Sparks right here. Hang on. Here we go.
It all starts now.
And now, Patriot Home Care is proud to present the Beaver County Radio Morning Show with Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey. Frank and Scott will get you caught up on what's going on in the world with news, sports, and entertainment, along with playing some of your favorite tunes, including Pittsburgh area bands. And now, here are the hosts of the show, Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey.
Thanks for joining us. It is indeed time for Ask the Commissioners. We are joined in-house by Jack Manning, Antonio Mario, Beaver County Commissioners. How you guys doing today?
Good. I always look forward to the first Thursday of every month, so happy to be here, as always.
He acts like he does because he's coming here, but you know what it is.
What's that?
What it is he's going to Athens for breakfast before he
true.
comes here. That's what he looks forward to.
It's the one day a month my wife lets me go to Athens.
Right, there you go.
Without her.
Yeah, so. What's up, Tony? How are you?
I'm at Panera's every morning.
All right, I don't think Tony's on.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, now you're on.
Oh.
Now
I said I was at Panera's.
Oh, that's a good pick, too.
That's another good
too.
pick. So, all right. What's going on in the county? I know, let's talk about the fun things that are happening. Starting this weekend, we got some wet and wild action going on down at Economy Park.
Pool's opening up.
Yeah.
The YMCA is doing a good job. They did a good job for us last year or so. You know, we've had trouble getting lifeguards and the like, but we've got the pool repaired. It's open. And the YMCA is ready to roll with the opening of the pool. And a feature this year, you know, Mike Herrick and those guys at the Y, they do a good job feeding elementary school kids and stuff lunches during the summer when the school's out for the lunch program. And there's apparently a free lunch offer for people. I don't know the ages.
I'm not sure.
Tony said, but if you have younger kids and you go into the pool.
I think it was school age, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Something like that,
it's elementary school age.
Yeah.
There's free lunch available, so it's a nice addition, nice feature.
Yes, please
that
use
the Y's bringing. Yeah.
Please use the pool. It's easier to keep the geese away from the pool than it is the lake.
Although there were people in the lake yesterday when I drove.
I
by.
know.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
speaking
I was
of the
down
lake,
there for a meeting, and a lot of people on a hot day. I mean, 85, almost 90.
I'm not a
degrees,
fan of swimming in
so-
Brady's Run Lake, but
I did as a kid. I swam there.
Yeah, I mean that's always going to be some consternation for us when we start doing the testing and stuff. I'm sure at periods of time this summer we'll have to shut down the lake again because of the geese.
We used to
and
try to
everything
deal
else.
with the geese, but then people get upset, and we used to have the hunts, and we tried different ways to keep the geese away, but
Maybe like a border collie or a Australian shepherd or something to chase them out of there.
They have something
not
to
sure what the answer
chase them
is.
away. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I will tell you. I mean, yesterday. Not all the school is out, and there were a ton of people down at Brady's Run on the playgrounds, in the lake, fishing, pickleball courts.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think some of the laziest people in the world are the pickleball players. They can't walk more than 10 feet to get to the court. I guess they're saving all their energy for the game itself because they're people are driving and parking where they want to.
I understand. Pickleball's too rough for me. But
Yeah. I don't know.
We've just now been joined by Commissioner Dan Camp as well, so all three commissioners in the house. And you can watch us. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube.
So I noticed too down at Brady's Run, the guys from C2J or CJ2K, they've got their basketball games going too. I went by there yesterday. They got it all decorated up and ready to go.
Yesterday afternoon, they have tournaments going on and stuff. It's nice to see.
Right.
Those courts being used since we redid them to have those tournaments and stuff.
Those characters
it's
will
good
use them,
stuff.
that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a nice place for them to hold. Nice central location for them to hold.
we're
those
so
tournaments.
proud of our facilities. Beaver County is a great place to live and raise a family, and I'm so proud of being part of it.
And
Morning, Dan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us today. So let's talk a little bit too about with Brady's Run Park. Is there? I know there was some talk about putting amenities in there like water or things like that. Is there any progress on doing anything like that?
The
or
water
sewage
lines
or-
have been installed.
Okay.
I think we're pretty much done with all that. We backed off on the sewer lines. We do have the other bathroom facilities that are there that currently seem to be adequate for the needs. The other big thing is we had a meeting yesterday with AT&T and FirstNet, and hopefully by the end of the summer we'll have access to Wi-Fi and better coverage.
Scott's trying to cover the Maple Syrup Festival from down there. He's like, I'm going to have to wait till I get home to post it. There's nothing working here.
Well, that's what we're working on. Those guys have been great. They've been putting cell towers up all over the place. There's 7 or 8 or 9 of them that they're working on. But next in line is to put up a pole back behind the lodge, and that hopefully should be up and running by September, which will greatly improve the cellular access throughout the park.
That'll be
A
awesome.
couple events you guys had in the park several years ago. One, there was a concert series at Old Economy Park, and then the barn there was a setting. And then I remember the year you did a big food truck festival in the walking trail area.
Yeah.
Are either one of those something you'd ever see revisiting, or are there any other new events on the horizon?
We haven't discussed anything recently, but I can tell you that the barn needs work. We need to put some money into the barn. Most of the people rent the bottom of it, use the bottom of it. Very few. It's not. We've had concerts and we had a band in there, but it just needs a lot of money and a lot of work. And I think that should be one of our next projects down the road.
There are multiple events at the walking path and at the ice arena where we've had food trucks come in. Tony Caltori and the tourism group, they do have those Friday kind of flea market things that'll be starting up, and they usually involve food trucks and stuff back behind the ice arena. So that's kind of supplanted some of the stuff that was happening at the walking trail. But Beaver County bounces back. The behavioral health folks just had a big event a couple of Saturdays there, and there were food trucks and stuff.
There was
So
something there last
outside
week,
of those
too.
where we're
Right.
collaborating with some nonprofits, I don't think there's anything we're scheduling right now.
Okay.
There was something last week was when I was coming back from Ohio, and I noticed a lot of tents.
Is there a triathlon's coming too?
That's Father's Day weekend.
All right.
That's the junior one. 650 applicants for that, probably 3,000 people visiting. Last year, it was, 25, 30 some different states that come from. This is a national qualifying event, so if people are trying to qualify for some nationals, they go and hope their times come out well. But they swim in the pond, bike up and down Brady's Run Road, and do a run at the end of it. It's pretty cool. I've been there. This is their 4th year for it.
That's cool.
They love Brady's Run. That used to be held in Butler, and they really love Brady's Run. Just like the people that did the Rabid Raccoon race that used to be at Raccoon State Park. They love coming to Brady's Run. So that's why Tony, Dan, and I are so proud, and why we're continuing to invest in the facilities to make sure we can attract these kids. You're drawing people from the Rabid Raccoon. The people from like six different countries that came in addition to from all across the country to run. I don't see the big draw of running 100 miles, but
Everybody loves it except people trying to get through the park.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, so I look forward to the work sessions and watching them every week because I like the Dan Koval update each and every week. It seems like something else is going on. So let's talk about the generator issue a little bit. A little problem with the generator going on, trying to get some parts for it.
well, when we had that last outage, we had difficulties getting that started up and running functionally. Even though it's maintained and stuff, there's a smaller backup generator to that generator, which required a pump, a water pump.
I think the 1985 kind of set it back.
It did, yeah. I equated it to walking through a junk yard trying to find the right part for your 88 Oldsmobile, whatever, So we haven't really addressed the bigger picture, but Dan's recommendation, because the big generator was also at 1991, aging equipment. and it's critical that we have backup power. I mean, with the frequencies of these storms, Duquesne Light, First Energy, those guys are running around doing a good job. We lost power at the jail for 14 hours.
Wow.
In that last one. So backup generators are pretty critical for the courthouse.
More coming this week.
And the jail and all the facilities.
As far as development, are there any areas of the county you guys are kind of identifying this would be a prime spot and you're trying to get the infrastructure up to par? Like we've seen areas along the riverfront, but is there like a target area where, maybe like the Corporation Economic Development or someone is...
They're popping up everywhere. Anywhere they build a new home, they're sold. I mean, it's I was just talking to Frank Vesio the other day about the plans, and just in Center alone, and it goes. I've seen them in Chippewa. They're in Brighton Township. As soon as the house is completed, they're sold. Mm-hmm. So when I hear people say the real estate sales are slowing down, I can't understand that. I can't comprehend it, because the new properties are selling as soon as they can get an occupancy permit.
And one of the things I think, local government, we need to do better. Not anyone in particular, but all local government around Beaver County is, I think we need to collaborate better with our school districts, because what's happening is, for Center Township, for instance, and this isn't the case, but as Commissioner Amadeo said, there are potential plans for more housing. They just put another couple hundred homes up in a plan that was existing. Another one off of Monaca Road was just built. I don't know if we're collaborating well enough with our school districts to say, hey, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, we're going to have an influx of new kids coming to our school. Mm-hmm. Or can our facilities accommodate them? My daughter's class in Central Valley was the largest kindergarten class they've had to date, from K through 12 the whole way through, a little over 200 kids.
Wow.
This year's class coming next year is a little smaller, but you're seeing that. And before, it was more of the families who are moving here for jobs and then moving away. But now these families are starting to stay in these communities. So I think local government, as a board of commissioners, township commissioners, township supervisors, council members, got to collaborate a little better with school districts to say, hey, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, we might need to have a larger facility. We've got to be able to accommodate these. Center Township just had to accommodate that in elementary school a couple years ago by adding on to Center Grange Road. So if they're looking to renovate, redo facilities, we should be working a little bit better with our planning and redevelopment, saying, hey, these are brownfield sites. This is where housing developments may go. This might just be 55 and older, so there shouldn't be young kids, but this plan here with 200 homes could be a large influx of kids a couple years down the road when families move into Beaver County.
There's one plan for New Sewickley Township too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would affect the Freedom School District.
The problem is the infrastructure, getting the water to these plants, getting the sewage lines to these plants, and more importantly is the stormwater management. You can't get a permit from DEP unless you have a plan for stormwater management. So there's all these things that need to come together to develop these plans. There's no forum, there's no place where the county can sit down with all the municipalities and discuss growth. And we have to do it individually.
Yeah, it's in our comprehensive plan, but each municipality controls their own zoning, their own regulations. So we'd like to have a collaboration. But I also hear, in part of your question, I can tell you, site preparation along the Ohio River, and the interest from West Aliquippa to Midland to Potter Township and everything else is as high as I've ever seen it in the last, since Shell's announcement. There's so much interest, and there's a lot of site development work going on there, a lot of help from the state, a lot of interest in the state bringing people in. So that kind of development is happening in earnest, pretty much full speed. And that's where our broadband initiative is so important, because any of the AI or ML stuff, the machine learning stuff that's a subset of the artificial intelligence, and the places are going to be attracted to this area because of the power hookup, power generation, requires everything that we've got and is put in place. So a lot of interest right now in Beaver County.
Commissioner Manning, last month you talked about that corridor, the Big Beaver area right off the turnpike heading towards Beaver Falls.
Yeah.
That's any development, any news updates on that?
I mean, the Mitsubishi Advanced Electric Switchgear plant is coming in. Dan was there to help cut the ribbon, Tony as well. For that, that's a couple hundred jobs will be coming. I know there was a little bit of delay in the start, but their original Target was to open that by July of 26. So
They just closed on the property.
Supposed to go up quick.
So.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right, we're visiting with Beaver County Commissioners this morning. It is Ask the Commissioners. You are welcome to call with any questions you might have for the Commissioners. 724-774-1888 or 843-1888. You can also comment on the Facebook Live feed as well. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more right after this.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Bob. We're retired, and we live at St. Barnabas in the Village.
We used to have a house.
Lived in it for 40 years.
Raised our kids.
But it became too much. The upkeep, the stairs.
Moving seemed like such a hassle. We didn't even know where to start, so we didn't.
Until we met Cindy at St. Barnabas.
She talked us through our options.
Yeah. And she helped us with our move and all the arrangements.
There was so much stuff. Who knew we had 3 fondue pots?
But she made it easy.
So easy.
Now we enjoy ourselves.
Golf, the pool, new friends, shuttles to where we want to go.
The pub and the food.
So good.
There wasn't a long-term commitment or any large fees.
And they have a healthcare system on campus with doctors if we need it. The kids really like that.
The kids like to come and eat with us.
There's an easier, worry-free way to retire at the Village at St. Barnabas. Come visit us for a free and informative counseling session and personal tour.
I can't believe you waited so long.
I can't believe you waited so long.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700.
Looking for an elevated dining experience with a lively bar atmosphere? Then Jackson's Restaurant and Bar in Monaca is your destination. Join Jackson's for Thursday Night Live featuring top-notch local music. Jackson serves modern American cuisine with a fresh flair, perfect for lunch, dinner, and now Sunday brunch and Sunday dinner with entrees like grilled salmon, sirloin, honey garlic chicken, and bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin. Located near the Beaver Valley Mall, adjacent to the Hilton Garden Inn, Jackson's event space is the ideal venue for weddings, bridal showers, or anniversaries. Visit jacksonsbeavercounty.com for details.
Have you ever found something interesting that makes you go, oh? Then tune in every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. on Beaver County Radio for the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury. Orlana relates her views about informing, inspiring, and entertaining headlines that makes the world go round in interviews with local influencers that make you go, oh. The episode will be on Beaver County Radio Facebook and YouTube pages, so make sure to join the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 right here on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30, right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMBA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM.
We have Art Cornell here from Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum. Art, what makes the Beaver Cemetery different than many cemeteries?
Well, we're a nonprofit cemetery, so all income generated is used to meet operational costs, to make improvements, and to provide perpetual care for centuries to come. Beaver Cemetery is non-sectarian and open to all who choose to take advantage of our historic beauty and tradition of caring.
Thanks, Art. Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum, serving all of Beaver County since 1865. Located on Buffalo Street in Beaver.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas. For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County. Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com.
Hi, friends. Dan Rivers for NASCO Roofing, the company that takes pride in exceeding expectations. Do you know Diane and Norman from Newcastle? They love the quality of NASCO's work and how quickly they completed their job. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Diane and Norman, and they can help you too. Locations in Pittsburgh and Youngstown, the pros at NASCO passionately roof the region. Most jobs can be done in a day. Get NASCO on your roof. Call 412-373-2000 or go to NASCOroofing.com. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30. Right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMBA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM.
The place to be, June 8th, is the summer kickoff concert at Mario's 410 Grill with local rock legends the Granati Brothers and one of Pittsburgh's most acclaimed musical acts, Needs Hotel Band. It's a Beaver County debut for Needs Hotel, voted Best Bar Band by Pittsburgh Magazine readers. The music lasts from 2 to 5 p.m. on the outdoor patio at Mario's in Bridgewater. The forecast calls for warm summer weather with an 100% chance of great music, so be there.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
We're back to Beaver County Radio Morning Show. Scott Teddy, Frank Sparks. It is Ask the Commissioners. All three county commissioners in studio to talk about what's going on county-wise. You're welcome to call at 724-843-1888.
All right. So one of the other things, and Scott had brought this up a little bit. So we saw in like some of the resolutions and stuff, there was funding for the Franklin Center, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and other organizations like that. With the some of the cuts on the national level, I know a lot of that state funding. Will that affect any of those programs be affected?
Potentially. I mean, we do know Cornerstone lost some FEMA money for the homeless shelter. I think it's just a big unknown to us right now is we don't know how much it's going to flow down from the federal government. We did get our community development block grant money. That is now in hand, and we're looking on how to distribute that for the remainder of the year. But until the state budget is complete,
Right.
I mean, it's really a crapshoot. Intuitively, you've got to think with all of the reductions that are happening that there's going to be some kind of an impact. We just don't know how much and where exactly it's going to hit. At least I don't.
Federalism is trickle-down government.
Right.
So whatever happens on top affects the bottom. And unfortunately for us, we're the bottom. So any and all cuts that occur on the federal level or state level can't be made up by county government. So if they cut, if the federal government cuts mental health, behavioral health, or children and youth, the same cuts are going to occur on our level because there's no way we have the ability. I forget what the percentage of our budget is pass-through money from the federal and state government, but we can't carry the ball there. So to answer that question, I would guess, it's going to affect us greatly.
Okay, and then so people understand, how does it work? So when you guys approve money, basically you're a pass-through organization for the money that's approved for different grants and things like that. Is that how that works?
Yeah, a lot of times, whether it's through the federal government or the state government, we're a pass-through. Our operating budget is a little over $60 million, but our total budget is $300 million. So a lot of times, line items that aren't tax dollars that we've put a tax on, right? Your house tax, your property tax, it's definitely a pass-through money. So, we get the money from the state. Obviously, as Commissioner Manning said, June and July are going to be a busy time in Harrisburg. I don't believe we'll pass a budget here in the Commonwealth before the end of June.
Probably not going to.
So we're fortunate enough to be able to cover some of those funds that we've done in the past until that money comes down. But that's what it is. It's pass-through dollars from the federal and state government. And our human services are the ones who are mostly affected by it. Office of Aging, Community Development,
CYS. Those are all flow-through dollars that fund
behavior health. Those are the flow-through dollars, as Commissioner Manning said, that come from the state and federal government.
The problem is we're the guys with the contracts. All those organizations, all their work goes through us. We sign the contract. That's what those resolutions, when you sit down and listen to our meetings, all those resolutions, those contracts are directly between the Board of Commissioners or the County of Beaver and that particular entity. So we have to look at those and make sure we don't put any long-term contracts in that could affect our funding and paying for those contracts. So that's where it's important for a county level, for county government, is the fact that the contracts aren't with the federal government, aren't with the state government, they're with the county government.
Well, and that's why I like to ask these questions, because a lot of times people don't understand how government, they don't take the time to get educated on how the county government or government works in general, and where the funding comes from and how it gets to these different entities.
But here's another example that county commissioners all across the Commonwealth complain about, is Harrisburg will pass a bill and say we have to do something, but it's unfunded. These unfunded mandates drive us nuts. I mean, especially revolving around elections and those kinds of things. Say, hey, you have to do all this, but don't give us the money to do that. Like when they mandated new voting machines, well, then they had to give us some money to buy new voting machines. When they mandate you have to do this stuff, give us the money, because we can't do it out of our, as Dan says, our $57, $60 million operating budget can't handle all of these things, particularly if it involves one of those other service organizations.
Okay. I guess it is, it's 9:30. I guess it's time for news with Noah Haswell. I didn't realize time was flying that quick.
Yeah,
all right.
Take it away, Noah.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this Thursday, June 5th of 2025. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Acting U.S. Attorney Troy Ravetti announced yesterday that a resident of Newcastle got 70 months in jail for conspiring to distribute fentanyl and fluorofentanyl. 38-year-old Kaylin Stewart got the sentence after pleading guilty to this crime between May of 2021 and October of 2022. Stewart was on state parole in 2022 for a homicide conviction and wanted to commit trafficking of a mixture of fentanyl and fluorofentanyl of between 70 and 100 grams. 10 Beaver County High School seniors that have Roberto Rocca scholarships recently got awards from Tenaris worth $25,000 from both their academics and pursuing of a STEM career. The winners were Summer Hartman, Hannah Larimore, Brianna Ramirez, Cody Roper, and Anthony Spiker from Ambridge Area High School, and Taja Bridges, Ethan Chen, Marquet Pisano, Elizabeth Spilsbury, and Derek Wilder from Beaver Falls High School. According to a Facebook post from Shell Polymers Monaca, yesterday at around 2:20 p.m., the company observed smoke from a furnace unit. Notifications went to local and state agencies about this incident. Air quality and any potential impacts off-site will be monitored by the mobilization of a third-party company. Shell is trying to primarily focus on the environmental protection in their community as well as the health and safety of all people. According to a report from the Pennsylvania Lottery on Monday, an unidentified Beaver County person has recently won $1.35 million from the Jackpot Spectacular online game. Jackpot Spectacular is a game in which multiple states have progressive jackpots that can be connected and can be won at any time. The player won the money from playing the game on either a device that is mobile, a computer, or a tablet. According to an announcement last Wednesday from Point Park University, the college is teaming up with Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School for education purposes. The collaboration is for high school juniors and seniors who can get a maximum enrollment of 2 courses for college during the semester in the fall. If the students have good academic standards, they can have potential enrollment of up to 3 college courses instead of just 2. According to a release from State Representative Rob Matzey's office, a strong bipartisan majority of the Pennsylvania House passed Matzey's bill to ban speculative ticketing yesterday. House Bill 463 has a statement that aims to get rid of a practice that resellers of tickets list tickets for events for sale before they have those tickets with them. Matzey believes speculative ticketing does not help small businesses and venues because of lost revenue and public credibility. Today is when Paul Miller's Law goes into effect in Pennsylvania. This law prohibits people from using mobile devices while driving. People also cannot use items like their phones when they are at a stop that is momentary, when they are at a red light, or when they are at a delay of traffic. However, if hands-free technology is in their car, phones can connect to the car to be used. The law is named after Paul Miller, who was killed in 2010 because of a distracted driver.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Partly sunny today with showers and thunderstorms expected later this afternoon. We'll see a high near 86. Showers and thunderstorms tonight will drop down to a low around 64. Cloudy tomorrow with rain and possible thunderstorms off and on throughout the day and evening. Will reach a high near 78 and a low around 62. And partly sunny on Saturday with a slight chance of showers. We'll see highs near 77 and lows around 69. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Beaver County Radio proudly welcomes Fry Transportation to their family. You're listening to 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios. Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Looking for a great job opportunity? McDonald's now has full-time and part-time positions available to fit your lifestyle and needs. Set your own hours and have a lot of fun too. Whatever the situation is, McDonald's has a place for you. Apply today at mchire.com. McDonald's is here for you. I'm loving it.
It's the sound of Beaver County, presented by St. Barnabas, WBVP, WMBA, 99.3 FM, and now available on 95.7 FM.
We are back with Ask the Commissioners. Tony Amadio, Jack Manning, Dan Camp, all in the house. Scott Tatey, Frank Sparks here. Phone lines open 724-843-1888.
Teach him to say your last name the right way.
Amadio.
Amadeo.
I had to just spell it correctly for
Amadeo.
I had to spell it correctly for 20 years. It didn't matter how I pronounce it. I'm still learning.
The answers to everything.
Tony.
You know, many people have called me Tatty over the years, and it's Tatey. I feel your pain.
The problem with you, though, is you're related to the Dick Tatty Orchestra.
Yeah, that is
So that's the problem with him, remember? So you remember that growing up, don't you?
Yes,
the Dick Tatty Orchestra.
I'm old enough, yes.
Well, I'm old enough, I remember that.
Not much trouble with Camper Manning.
No, no, not at all.
Not a whole lot of trouble. So. All right, so we've been talking about some of the events going on in Beaver County and some other things that are happening right now, and you're welcome to weigh in if you have a question at 724-843-1888 or 774-1888. Also, the Facebook feed is up and running if you want to make any comments on there as well. So one of the issues I saw that was brought up a little bit had to do with deer hunting on Sundays. Is that something you guys support?
I do.
Okay.
I've been involved with the Beaver Lawrence Farm Bureau for a long time. The crop damage is getting so severe. I mean, I don't hunt. I haven't hunted since I was a teenager, quite frankly. I think 18 maybe last time. But the population control of the deer population is a significant issue. Not the least of which is, I mean, just drive up and down 376 or 51 and see all the dead deer on the side of the road. So the property damage to cars in addition to the crop damage. And a significant portion of Beaver County's land mass is pasture land, farmland, 20%, and those guys are hurting. So this would be a permit process if it goes through as designed, specifically for Sundays, specifically on farmland with the provision of the farmers with another additional amount of deer tags available for that. I don't know how big of an impact it's going to have, but the fact that the farmers are behind it, then I'm behind it.
I was going to ask
them.
if the traditional hunter, because you're allowed to get one buck and one doe.
Yeah.
So are they going to be allowed to harvest more deer than what they normally would be allowed?
Yeah. Okay. And the season's longer. I think there's like 3 Sundays now that the permit there. I mean, it opens it up to like 9 months of the year to do that, which is the other addition on those farmlands.
I hope it works better than the coyote solution.
Well, the coyotes are the only predators besides
which didn't
automobiles.
which apparently hasn't worked. They're going to have to give more doe licenses out. I mean, it's going to have to be part of it.
Yeah.
When they do that, they may hit. I never hunted, but I used to own a hunting camp with my brothers, and we would go up there and get. If they could shoot more than one doe, it would cut substantially into the deer herd. But they're only allowed one, unless you have extra tags. But no, I think it has to come to play. They need to be hunted on Sunday, and they need to have more doe tags.
And even with all the development, new neighborhoods and stuff, they're there, and we're trying to be smart and strategic about building housing developments and stuff. Yesterday, I'm coming down Beaner. 2 days ago, I was coming to a meeting in Beaver Falls, coming down Beaner Hollow Road at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and a deer bolts from behind Heritage Valley right across the road into a neighborhood at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, out of nowhere. I mean, it's not just evening and nighttime movements with the deer.
It seems like this time of year, like there's been, like you guys are talking about, there's been a lot more. Normally, you don't see them moving this much this time of year. Like even I was getting off the expressway yesterday morning, and there was a young one that was spooked. He didn't know which way to go. He's running back and forth and right into the path of a semi. And it's like, so it seems like the population is way up.
Well, you've got a bunch of them around the campus here on the radio station, that's for sure.
At least we're not like Tennessee. They got a zebra on the loose down there right now. They haven't been able to wrangle it for about 2 weeks.
We have a lot of bears right now in Beaver County.
Yeah. Oh, we have one in my neighborhood.
Bear sightings are up quite a bit.
That's
what was the coyote plan? Because as someone who hears coyotes frequently from where I live, what was the plan?
They go after the deer. My understanding is the insurance companies brought the coyotes in to knock down the deer population.
Wow.
Huh.
I don't know about that. I do know that there is there's no ban on shooting coyotes. So if you're a landowner, anytime, no restrictions, you're allowed to shoot them. Assuming you can fire a rifle in your your municipality in your neighborhood.
Safety things,
which is.
I mean, how often do you have a coyote sighting in the past?
Right.
It's much more common now.
There's one laying dead on 376 right now.
Always
top
see
of the
a
hill
few.
there.
Right. I know at the Beaver County Airport, they used to bring somebody in because they'd be across the runway and different stuff. There's a lot of woodlands back behind the airport there.
Biggest coyote I ever saw in my life was at a Beaver County Airport.
Okay.
It was at the end of the runway when we were walking around. I was actually petrified because what do you do? Want to take my belt off and
right. I've seen one come up my backyard before, and it's just the way they glow at night. It's coyote right off the bat.
I hear them all the time.
Yeah, I hear them a lot too. So
we're also getting the spotted lanternfly season. Is there anything on the county level you're able to do about that?
There's not much control you can do. The Conservation District and Penn State Extension have put a lot of notices out. I mean, stomping them is about the only thing. The only thing you can do. It's something.
Squash them.
What happens generally is when they've fed on all of the things that they like to feast on, when those are consumed, they kind of move on.
Right.
That's how they started back east and followed the railroad tracks and came with rail cars here. And I think it's dissipated a little bit just because most of the vegetation they feed on has been consumed. But yeah, not much we can do about that. Unlike the mosquitoes and other things that they can treat, and Conservation District continues to.
I'm still
try and
nursing
mitigate.
2 trees in my yard that they've attacked.
We did a story a couple weeks ago. They're actually training dogs now, and they're using them in Cleveland municipal parks. That they have dogs that go and find the nesting or whatever you want to call it, and that's how. And then they can control the eggs by that way. And they're using them in Cleveland parks now. It was a pretty interesting story. It's pretty cool.
We'll have to talk to Mike Maxey and Carl and see if we can get Carl.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Designated as a comfort dog / spotted lanternfly.
I was like,
identifier.
that's what I said. I said that's pretty. You think about it, it's neat that they can train a dog to
Dogs'
be able to spot
senses,
those.
trust me, having beagles, their noses, are just incredible with the number of scents they can decipher.
So your last work session, anything else come up that is a pressing need and something you're going to have to address in the next month or two?
Yeah.
Generator.
Or is it a slow time of year? Does the summer kind of tail off a little bit? And,
Yeah, summer tails off. Once summer ends, Corey Troutman from Susquehanna comes in and starts working on the budget for, the following year, so we could process that in the fall into the winter. But yeah, it's normally a little slow. We're getting a lot of requests, as Commissioner Manning always says, from the nonprofits that we try to help out. I had a meeting with Corey Troutman earlier this week. He was in town. I talked to everyone, I'm sure, about how can we help some of these nonprofits that are putting some requests in, or do we have any extra money from the ARP or general fund? So he's going to look at doing some sort of analysis to provide to the commissioners in those regards. But overall, it's normally a little bit of a slower time right now.
Well,
some of those capital projects that we're working on, like the expansion of the hazmat building and some of the improvements we're continuing to make at the parks and that kind of stuff. We'll just continue to go through that and the preventive maintenance issues.
I say the transfer of the county records to right next door here.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. We're just completing up.
Cut off our shortcut to Tony. Now we got to walk around.
Yeah, sorry about that, Frank. But Kevin Tussey's got that set up. We're well on our way now. We're holding meetings with the different department heads to see how we're going to position the stuff from the mines into the back here and move the voting machines over into here. So
and we saw
that's well underway.
That was it was approved at the last bi-weekly meeting or whatever. The contract was approved.
Yeah, that was approved. That's all signed, and we're good. And again, we're very appreciative.
Obviously, since they're working on that.
Very appreciative of St. Barnabas and the improvements here, the accommodations. So.
Our staff, along with Dan Colville's staff, like Commissioner Manning said, they're holding meetings to discuss with the different department heads how we're going to transfer some files over, who's going to be responsible for putting them certain places. It's tough because you don't want to put the work on one person and then the other person say, hey, you put it in the wrong place. So those are the small things we're working through here. So you'll probably start seeing some movement here very shortly.
Yeah. I promise we won't put a toll gate up and charge you every time you want a record.
Well,
could be an idea, though.
Yeah, I think we did money. We gave Tony.
They're already doing that.
We gave Tony a fob so that he'll be able to walk through the building to get to his mechanical room. But we want to do this in an orderly process.
Right.
Part of the problem with the mines is it's become an unwieldy mess, and trying to find stuff and know where stuff is, and relying on those folks for everything, every piece of paper that's moved. We want to do this in an orderly fashion so we know what records are there, when they can be disposed of, what needs to be kept, and store everything appropriately. So it's a lot more organized.
All right. So you brought up the hazmat building and the expansion there. Last night was a meeting. It was one of the first steps to get started with Patterson. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
So obviously there was some variance. There was a variance hearing that would need to take place to put an expansion on the hazmat building. This all stems from the conversations we've been having for many years. Not many years, the last couple of years, in regards to getting more room for different departments, public works, hazmat, EMS, ESU, up here at St. Barnabas with the storage. So we're starting to move along with that. So Dan Colville has been working with Widmer Engineering to get some plans laid out. Once the variance was passed, now I think we can start moving forward with getting some. It's a pool building with what's down there, but you still got to go through the proper engineering to be able to put something out for bid. If we do move forward with this, once we put a bid out, they believe it's going to take 4.5 to 5 months to complete. So it's not too difficult of projects.
Right.
So
compared to some.
So I do believe that we'll start seeing some things move quicker once we see the cost of things. Obviously that's the main key, to get the bid out to see how much something's going to cost here for the county.
Yeah.
All right, 724-843-1888 or 774-1888. If you have a question for the commissioners, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with more right after this.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now is your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we are looking for account executives to introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested prospective candidates can apply by sending their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their community's best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Partly sunny today with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. We'll see highs near 86. Showers and thunderstorms tonight will drop down to a low around 64. Cloudy tomorrow with rain and possible thunderstorms off and on throughout the day and evening. Will reach a high near 78 and a low around 62. And partly sunny on Saturday with a slight chance of showers. We'll see highs near 77 and lows around 69. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
Are you frustrated by high copays for your generic drugs? Stop overpaying and start saving. Discover Forward RX, your local cost-plus pharmacy in New Brighton. At Forward RX, we believe in transparency and affordability. No insurance middlemen, no inflated prices, just the true cost of your medication plus a simple fixed markup. Join the Forward RX family today and experience the difference. Check out our medication prices online at fwdrx.com or give us a call for a price quote. Forward RX. Come for the savings and stay for the service.
It's a voice you recognize, the voice of Beaver Valley. Coming to you from an all-star quartet, 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMBA.
Thank you for joining us at Beaver County Radio, the morning show. It is Ask the Commissioners, the county commissioners in studio, ready to take any phone calls or just talk about what's coming on county-wise. We've had a good discussion so far. Frank, you wanted to ask about the project in Darlington.
So, there's a project, Jack, I've seen you talking about it at the Commissioners' Work Session about the EPA and brick cleanup program that's going on at the old brickyard out in Darlington.
Yeah, the Darlington brickyard, that's a project we've been working on for a couple of years, trying to find a solution. The old buildings out there was some asbestos contamination and bricks pretty much all over the place. And we had an EPA grant, and our redevelopment authority was able to acquire the parcel. It's several hundred acres. It's about 300 total acres there. It connects to the North Country Trail and the Watts Mill Bridge that was just redone and placed out there. So it's a really nice, pristine area, North Fork of the Little Beaver Creek. Beautiful area. It's got some history, the Masingwa Indian, Native American history there and stuff. And we finally got that process started. We passed a resolution to hire a group named Opal to do the cleanup there, and it's just starting. And I'm thrilled about it because it'll take land that has been contaminated and can't be used back into public use and help. And there's state game lands that surround that property in South Beaver, Darlington, the whole area. So just a beautiful piece of property, and we're excited about being able to turn that back into public use. Yeah, good project.
I think it's cool, and when you go around to some of these older buildings that are in Beaver County, and you see the Darlington, PA, or the old brickyard in New Brighton there, or different names on the bricks.
I've got some of those on my property.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
In 1939, 1941, some old bricks I found stamped with Pennsylvania Brick Company and Darlington Brick. And
I saw a brick one time that was stamped Camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Charlie showed it to me. Yeah, it was a brick, the old style with that's concave in the middle. It said Camp, C-A-M-P.
Oh, that's cool. That's something. That's wild. So
I'm sure it came from the old homestead.
yeah, right. So all right.
We do have a caller.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys are for a call.
You
It's,
got to put your headsets on.
I have it in my office.
You do.
You were joining us on Beaver County Radio and Ask the Commissioners.
That's
Hello.
cool.
Hello.
Morning. What's up, Rick?
Frank, how are you?
Good, Rick. How
Hey,
are you?
listen, this is shocking. We got to put this in ink or make it brick stamp. We got all 3 commissioners there today.
Yes.
Is that right?
They've all been here since we started doing the show together. They have been here every month.
3 months in a row.
Really? All 3?
Yes, sir.
Where have I been?
Under a rock,
Hey,
I
listen.
guess.
Under a brick? Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Under a brick.
Hey, listen, we're pushing 80, but we're ready for under the rock or whatever. Hey, listen, the 5 of you, I want you guys to do me a big favor. That'd be Scott, Frank, and the 3 commissioners. I'm going to give you this phone number. I want you to call it and tell them to get their trucks out and fill some of these potholes. These are just terrible and dangerous. And why are we paying the guy to answer the phone at PennDOT Rochester, and even a supervisor or even an office, even a building? I haven't seen a truck out in years. Have you guys seen any PennDOT trucks with asphalt out?
I'll defer to our most senior commissioner to answer the PennDOT questions.
Someone's under a rock, he got thrown under a bus.
We don't usually have a good relationship with PennDOT and road patching.
Well, they don't have a good relationship with anybody, so what's the difference?
Well, I'm just telling you the way it is. We've tried. We've mentioned it many times on this show. We can call a municipality and get a pothole fixed, but we can't. We usually don't get anywhere with PennDOT itself.
Well, let's get a protest and do something, and do something that's right, the right thing to do. How about if we go out and rent a dump truck, and then we'll buy some asphalt, and then we'll get a CDL driver, and we'll go out and do it ourselves. We get in trouble for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're taking away union jobs at that point.
Absolutely.
Why? What are we doing wrong? By
Taking
doing
away
something
union
good?
jobs.
Yeah.
Well, it is very frustrating, and it's very pervasive. And people talk about it all the time. Cross from West Virginia into Pennsylvania, from Ohio into Pennsylvania,
All right,
and the condition of our roads compared to other states. I don't quite understand it. With as much money we're paying in the gas tax and everything else on why our roads aren't in better shape, but we pass those along. Road improvements, road closures is a big thing. I mean, Wildwood Drive, there's a whole bunch of roads here in Beaver County that are causing tremendous disruption.
Landslides, road collapses.
They just don't have the resources to stay on top of some of these.
Are we, don't mean to interrupt, but we don't have much time left. Are we saving money by taking the records from the mines to the radio?
We will.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So you are getting charged less to go to the radio.
Correct. It will cost us a lot less.
We're giving them the friends and family discount
in monthly fees. The biggest savings is in what they charge us to move every single box we request. We can't
Every
do that on our own.
document in and out.
And the travel costs back and forth to the mines. This is going to be right up the road from the courthouse. There's no fees. People, all department heads are going to have access into this building and do what they want to do with those records, search for those records here. So there's tremendous long-term savings.
All right, Rick, we got to let you go because we got to get to the top of the hour here.
Okay, Frank, 1 second. 5 of you, call PennDOT Rochester and tell them to get a truck out there. And I don't care if it just sits out there. Just get a truck out there.
All right,
Thanks,
buddy.
Guys.
All right. Have a good day.
Might be a good question for Ask the Commissioners or wrapping with the reps next week. Yeah.
So,
you'd have more impact through the state reps than you would us when it comes to any PennDOT or any of those.
Sure, we'll
DEP.
see you guys out at some events coming up here in the next couple days. Next couple weeks. We got Boom coming up.
Boom, and it'll be the 4th of July before you know it, and hopefully we'll see people down
Garrison
in Midland.
Days this weekend. It's going to
Garrison
be a busy
Days.
time, Beaver County. So
You're always welcome in our car cruises. And I know I've seen some of you there. Yeah. Tony's been there.
Tony brings his Mercedes up to him. So
my old
Mercedes. There you go. So, all right. See you guys next month.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Romines coming up next. Live Mike here on Beaver County Radio.
And thank you all for joining us. Hope you have a good rest of your Thursday.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.